Hello, everybody. This is Mallory Carr again with my wonderful student. Do you want to say hi, wonderful student? Hi. We are going to go over Spellcheck on Google Docs on the Braillenote Touch, Braillenote Touch Plus, and how we can either listen to the document and try to find the errors with our ears or use Spellcheck tool. So student, you're on the assignment Friday Spellcheck Practice 2. Can you find the attachment called National Donut Day? And then open that into Google Docs. And happy National Donut Day, by the way. Okay, so for the viewers, I tried to highlight the ones that I really want him to, that we're gonna find. But student, if you wanted to read this document, because it's kind of a long article, would you be able to have it be read aloud to you?
Yes.
How would you do that?
I'm gonna do G plus space, so I'm gonna do that now.
So, good. Okay, go ahead and pause it. Okay, so before he is in a Google Doc with this document, so right now it's just viewable. He can't edit it right now. He was able to do space plus G, and that read everything, every element, sorry, on the screen. So it had the next or the previous button, the edit button, the open in Google Drive button. So it went through all of that, and then it got to the document and then read the document aloud. So space plus G. And student, how did you pause it?
I paused the article by pressing the backspace and the enter key.
Good. So
at the same time.
Good. Backspace and enter at the same time. We'll pause it. So that's great. When you are editing the Google Doc, can you do space plus G?
No.
No. That's what I thought. So I think in order to have it be read aloud to you, you have to be like in this middle step where you're just viewing it, or you have to view it as a PDF, which will be a different video. So right now, I wanted to show that really quick, because sometimes were you able to hear any of the spelling errors by chance? It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Because they were kind of hard to hear anyways. So go ahead and open this in Google Drive so we can edit it. So there's an open in Google Drive button. And student, you can turn speech off. Good. Okay, so say this is your essay that you wanted to spell check. How would you go into spell check? Well, first of all,
I go into spell check, I have to press E for edit.
Good.
Button. And I have to be in edit mode to
Good.
use spell check.
So good job. Thank you. I totally forgot about that. So thank you for remembering. So if you try to do spell check without being in edit mode, it will not show as an option. So good. So now you're in edit mode. Then what?
I go to more options.
More options.
S. I go to first letter navigate from S until I can read the word spell check.
Good. So first letter navigate S to get to the S words. So it went to suggest changes first, and then he hit S again to get spell check. Good. And then can you kind of just go through these buttons and tell us what it says on your Braille display?
More option.
Good.
And at the bottom.
Good. And so
dialogue button.
what does it say?
Dismiss
Oh.
dialogue button.
Dismiss dialog button. And what key are you using to go through each of these elements?
The third thumb key or the panning thumb key.
Okay, so the third thumb key or that panning thumb key. What happens if you do next thumb key? What happens there? Okay, it's the same thing. Okay, what does that say?
I go to change.
Change button. Okay, next.
Ignore.
Good.
Or spell check option button.
So spell check options button. Can you open that just so we can see what's in there?
Change all one. Ignore all one.
Good. And we talked about this last time. Why might it not be a good idea to change all? What might your Google Docs think is a spelling error when maybe it's not a spelling error?
Then you can't ignore it.
Jeez. So what if you're writing a document and there's an error, but you spelled it correctly? What do you know? What usually why that happens? What kind of words those are?
What?
Names. So sometimes names, if they are not very common names, so like your real name, which we won't say, that one always has spelling errors. All the documents always think your name is spelled incorrectly when really it's spelled correctly. So that's why change all would not be a good idea, because then it would then misspell your name. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So change all and ignore all are there if you want, but I would suggest not to do that. I would rather, if it were me, I would go through each word to make sure I really do want to change it. Okay, go ahead and hit next.
Change excuse to excuse.
Good. So it's kind of hard to see on my screen, but I'll use my mouse right here. It says change, and then it has this misspelled word, E-C-X-U-S-E. So I just switched the X and the C. So it says change that word to, and then right here it has the correct spelling of the word excuse. So say,
Edit box.
and it's an edit box. So go ahead and click that edit box. So he can either find the word, use the word that they assumed he meant, E-X-C-U-S-E, or he can type his own. And this is also where he can go down if there's more than one option. So like I always misspell the word independent for some reason. I can never spell that or type that word. So sometimes it'll say independent, independence, independently. So it's trying to guess what I meant. So I can go ahead and use that. Those options will be down here. Okay. All right. Thank you, student. Can you find the change button? Because that is the correct spelling. Good. And then now it's highlighted still, but it changed it to the correct spelling. Okay, now what's the next misspelled word?
Indulge.
Indulge. It's supposed to be indulge. So down here it says change indulge to the word indulge. And then go ahead and change it, because that's what I meant to write. So how are you going from that edit box back to the change button? Are you doing C for change?
Yes.
Okay, so C for change goes, first he starts on this edit box, and C for change puts him back up to this button that he can click. Okay, what's next?
Change.
Good. So I accidentally put a K in there, and it should just be C-I-V-I-C. Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Good. So go ahead and change that. There's only a couple more. What's the next one?
Yummy with 3 M's.
Mm-hmm. And so this is another case. So say maybe you're doing a dialogue between two different people in a story, and maybe she really wanted to emphasize yummy or something like that, and you wanted to add more M's. This is a part where you would ignore it. You can change this one because I didn't mean to do that, but that's another reason you might want to ignore a word. But go ahead and change that, because I was not doing that. And then this one is a grammar one, so it also is spelling and grammar. So in the original one, it says, was not established by donut manufacturers to boost sales, but by Salvation Army. But I added an O to be the wrong to. So down here, it says change T-O-O to the word T-O, which is great because it helps our grammar. It will also do like, if you are saying, what was the one that we did last time? Like changing environment or environments, it tries to do that. I don't even know the word. Plurals and that kind of stuff. Go ahead and you can change it. And that's the only thing that was misspelled. I just did that first paragraph. So I think that's really going to help us and my student in the future, because editing documents, especially when they're this long, because this is a pretty long document, takes a lot of time and takes a lot of effort from either his aide or from me or his teacher to say, okay, you spelled this word wrong. Okay, you spelled that one wrong in the next paragraph. So this way he can go through and spell check his own his own work first and then kind of go through and edit it with somebody if he needs to. So yeah, that's all we wanted to share today. Do you have anything else to say, student?
I have that Spellcheck can also be really helpful for 3 paragraphs even, like before turning it into your teacher.
It could be helpful for what? What did you say there? 3 what?
For 3 paragraph
Oh.
writing.
Yeah, so like essays, you mean? Yeah, I think it's great. I think that's a great skill to have before you submit anything, right? Because you don't want to be submitting documents that have spelling errors. And what started this conversation with my student and I, because we are pretty new to spell check, we didn't really ever try it before, but he turned in an assignment that had words that I could tell, like the word favorite was misspelled because he put a U instead of a V, which we know in Braille, he just forgot to do a dot two, right? So it's not that you spelled it incorrectly. Well, you typed it incorrectly, but you know how to spell it. So this is a great way to edit your work to see maybe you mistyped something, right? Because you're such a Zoom fast typer that your fingers are faster, you're faster than your mind, right? Great, thank you for sharing. Thanks for helping.